Hello, I'm Devika and I'm going to teach you electricity. Electricity is a topic that comes in all the boards: IGCSE, ICSE, CBSE, IBDP, IB. So if you're watching this, it is going to help you to clear all your basic concepts. To start with, we are starting with electricity. Do you all know electricity is of two types? First is static, the second is current. When I talk about static electricity is when the charges are there on the surface of the object. They do not flow, move. They are going to be at rest. When I talk about current electricity, the charges are in motion. So what do I mean by motion? They are moving from one point to the other point. When we talk about charges, let's focus on, we already know there are two types of charges, protons, electrons, but we are talking about electrons. So in static electricity, you must have already done the experiment rubbing off the comb and your hairs standing. So how does that happen? This happens because the object gets charged and discharged. But whereas in current electricity, look around. There is a fan working, there is a tube light working. How does it work? When there is a flow of electrons happening, that's when current electricity is there. Today I am going to cover current electricity and basic concepts of electricity. So let's start with that. When I told you about electricity, I mentioned about charges. When we talk about charges, we have two types of charges: positive charges, negative charges, and also there are neutral charges. So positive charges are protons, electrons, and neutrons. In electricity, the main focus is going to be on electrons. So how do we know a particular element, atom or anything gets a positive charge or negative charge? Depends on what is the ratio. For example, if I have 3 protons and 3 electrons, that means it is balanced. Okay, so this has no charge. But only electrons are going to flow. So only electrons are allowed to leave their orbits and bond with others, or they are free, because electrons are supposed to be free. So in case the protons will remain as it is, 3 protons, and in case 3 electrons go to 2 electrons. So what happens is there is a deficit of electrons. That's the reason this will get a positive charge. And in the other case, if there are 3 protons and there are 4 electrons now, so that means electrons are more, there is more negativity. So the entire element becomes negatively charged. And this is the reason how we get ions, charges. Okay, so now looking at charges, a charge is represented by letter Q. It has a SI unit of coulomb. And what is a charge? A charge is number of electrons times charge of 1 electron. The charge of 1 electron has a charge of 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulombs. Obviously there is a negative sign, but when we try to solve the numericals, please make sure you remember this. You do not have to use this negative sign, because proton also has the same charge. The only difference is that they have different signs. So now this is all about charges, but what next? What flows? When we talk about current electricity, it is all about current. So we just learned about charges. What about current? Current is denoted by the letter I. And what is current? It is the rate of flow of charges. So basically, what is flowing inside the conductor? It is the charge. When the charge is flowing, it is flowing for a certain period of time. So divided by time equals to your current. Okay, and we already know the SI unit of charge, that is coulomb. SI unit of time is seconds. So, but what is the SI unit of current? SI unit of current is ampere. Okay, so please make sure you know this formula. Now, as you know this formula, there's one more formula that you should be aware of. I just told you that a charge is Ne, number of electrons times the charge of one electron, and you divide it by T. That's the second formula that you need to know for current. One more very important thing that you should remember is whenever in physics there is a word that is rate or flow of something, always remember you will have to divide it with time. There are multiple quantities in physics that will have definition with starting with rate. Look at the rate and remember in the denominator of your formula you should always have time. Remember, you have the power to create your own life. Believe in yourself, take action and never give up. Subscribe for such more fun and learning videos, and don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions.